know Nero. He's also another great
Yes,
guy.
I know Nero.
Nero is like one of the best animators I know out there. That guy is insane and killing it in the game.
He made a fan film himself. I forgot the name of it,
Oh,
but I
I think
remember
it's
watching
Spider-Man
it.
Ordinary.
Yeah, that's it. It was great.
I'm like a Wish Nardwar. I gotta know everything at this point.
The art style was something I wanted to touch on, because it's probably one of the standout parts of the film. The art style for the posters, we went full Steve Ditko style posters. The whole art style is based off Steve Ditko and John Romita Sr., all that stuff, and then mixing my own art style that I've kind of built up over the years. It's hard to break through from that art style. I've evolved it a little bit to get prepared for the movie, but I will say the round heads is definitely a pattern I've kept over the years.
I mean, hey man, that's fine. Like, as long as you're evolving, because when it comes to art, like, the more that you evolve and push yourself in, you're gonna be seeing a lot of changes. Like, I suck at art. The only thing I can do is just draw, but I suck at sketches still to this day.
Yeah, same. I can't sketch anything.
Dude, I think the last thing I drew is like, do you guys remember the hype for when Infinity War and Endgame came out, and then there was like a lot of fan made
Yeah.
like posters with like memes of Thanos?
Yeah.
I drew when Smash Bros was coming out. I think I drew Kirby, but I stand with like a gauntlet, and it's all the Smash characters in the background just fucking turning into dust.
That's amazing.
That's amazing, chat.
When it came to casting the other actors and actresses in this film, I remember seeing the casting call. How many like auditions were there, and what was the process like for it?
We didn't get too much because, like, I'm not big out there, and I'm fine with that. I'm not too big, so picking the voice actors were challenging. Here's something Here's a funny story. Up until the last Gwen audition and that's what we picked. Every Gwen audition we got just made them sound like they were they were in love and stuff. I'm like, that's not what they're doing in the film.
That's not what we're going
they're
for.
they're really close friends who can help each other in dark times. Like, Peter has an arc in his film, and that's what takes up most of the runtime. But Gwen has a small arc in the film that takes about. It doesn't take too much from the runtime, and it's a very small arc, but the payoff is great, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the film.
Were both of you like choosing who was gonna be like each like certain characters? Who plays Jameson again? Tell me about that.
Oh, Jameson!
Oh,
Concerned
Jameson!
Bear! Concerned Bear brings
Concerned
his
Bear
A
is a
game.
legend.
He also plays Connors.
I saw that, yeah, because aren't there like multiple people or there's people playing multiple parts in the film too, right?
Connors, Concerned Bear, I think is the only person doing it. He plays Connors, and he plays JJ. And his JJ voice acting was insane. He was the first audition. He was the first audition. I got it. Like, as soon as I got it, I hired him. And then he sent a Connor's audition. I'm like, this is good, because Connor's in the film. Excuse me. He's Peter's mentor, and he's very inspiring to Peter. Peter looks up to him in a higher light, and then when Connors hits a downfall, Peter is kind of upset about it. Sir and Bear brings his A game. His Jonah impression is on point, and it's exactly what we want.
What's the behind the scenes look like at the Spider-Man Antidote headquarters? What do you guys do over there? Like, how long is are the edits, my friends?
It's a Discord server.
It's something. It's something.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yet again, we don't have a lot of people on the crew. It's basically just the voice actors. Think I have a guy making music for the film. He's a lifelong friend of mine. Um, and then we have, I think, just one storyboarder, but we haven't given him anything yet because the funniest part is that we wrapped up the script yesterday. We finished it
Wait, how many
yesterday.
pages was it again?
118. It's a long boy. My pages to runtime is never accurate.
How many drafts did you have to go through for the film?
I hate to say one, but like I think I'm gonna refine it a little bit. Again, I don't expect this to be the Hollywood box breaking movie. It's a fan film releasing on YouTube.
Hey, I'm pretty sure it's still gonna be good at the end of the day. It's gonna have a lot of amazing moments. I'm gonna hold myself accountable though, because if this movie is poop, negative 5 stars, -5 stars on both of you.
No, no. All right,
No.
we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. There could be some scene. We will see if we can try to take some scenes cut out, because if the page to screen time conversion is accurate, then it's like a 2-hour movie, and I don't want to work on that. So
That's a big project. No, I understand.
It's a big boy. Like I didn't like originally it was supposed to be an hour and 10, and then we had a lot of scenes that we wanted to add. One of my favorite scenes is an amazing fantasy scene. It's not that long. Not that long, and
I'm
it
looking
sets
forward to
up
that.
like the rest of the plot.
Whose idea was it to come up with Spider-Man Antidote, and what's the meaning behind Antidote? I know that there's usually like some what's the term, significance, or like reason why like they chose like a name for each film.
Well, Grayson's helping out with the voice acting and the visuals. He's more like on that side. I came up with the story and I wrote the entire script. Um, so I will take full accountability if y'all don't like the story.
You heard it here, folks. This is the scoop. Throw tomatoes
No, no,
at Cain.
no. I like listen. I hope y'all like it. Like it's my first film I've ever written, so I don't want y'all to take it too hard, cause I don't have experience writing films.
No, and
I'm
I
not
get you, man.
saying it's bad.
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's my first film. Go easy on me.
It's all good. You're gonna have love for the Spider-Man community, at least like the good side, because the only thing I hate about the Spider-Man community
I
is
don't
how
have love
toxic
for
it is.
Twitter.
Stay
I
off
don't
Twitter.
have love for Twitter.
Stay off Twitter.
Stay off Twitter.
Do not go
I
on
don't
Twitter.
have
Take
Twitter.
Take
I
it from
don't
me.
have Twitter.
Don't make one. Don't make one. Do not make one at all whatsoever.
I'm staying off Twitter. I'm staying on YouTube.
Stay on YouTube. Stay on your Discord. Just don't be a neckbeard mod. That's all I gotta tell you.
No.
The way we
I
actually
just-
came up with the name for Antidote was
It's fine.
Kane just randomly called me. I was just on like my VR doing random garbage. And he was like, "Hey, I've got." So before Antidote was actually like a thing, we were actually working on a Spider-Man show called The Sensational Spider-Man.
Ooh.
It was not a Ben Reilly thing.
Yeah, it wasn't Ben Reilly. That was just the first thing we thought of that hasn't actually been done with like a TV or movie.
Too many names.
Yeah. But he called me up and I was like, "Hey, I think we're gonna try to scrap the Sensational Spider-Man and come up with something new, something with the lizard. And obviously at the end the lizard's probably gonna be cured and all that." And I was like, "Okay, how about we name it something with like a synonym for cure?"
Yeah.
And then we went through a bunch of
You
options
said-
and then we landed on Antidote.
You said infection was for the first thing, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't fit.
That sounds like a horror movie straight up.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie, dude.
Just imagine right now it's Spider-Man Infection instead of Spider-Man Antidote.
Ooh.
If I did Spider-Man Infection, it'd be about the 6 arms plot.
Hey, write that down. I better see that movie now that you said it. You
No,
cursed yourself with
I don't
this.
know how to make. I don't know how to make horror films. I've never been a horror. Like I know how to make horror games and stuff, but I don't know how to make horror films.
They are difficult.
I
I'll give you that.
I like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Or.
Or guys, is that Freddy Fazbear?
Going back now to Spider-Man Antidote. Grayson, what's it like working on the visuals? Is it like a difficult task, or is it like just getting easier for you as well? What's it like?
With the visuals, I'm trying to think of a good way to like explain this. I just like help Cain think of shots,
Yeah.
kind of. I
He
feel like
helped me with that. I came up with the Steve Ditko type style. Originally, it was supposed to look boring, and then I went with, you know what, it's gonna look boring, so I'm gonna make it look not boring. And so I came up with a style of like I kind of like it's got a concept art type kind of feel.
yeah,
Um, like if you go into your sketchbook, like there's like lines you would draw, like for shading you just draw like a bunch of like lines on the side of his head, and that's what you do for shading. Yeah, that's what the shading looks like on the in the for the visuals in the film. We kind of homed in on that. We almost, and I don't know if it's making the final cut, but the blue part of the suit could have potentially have the black shading on it, but I don't know if it would look right.
I mean, like,
I would say try to make
It
some
definitely,
concept and see, because you always want to like what's the term? You always want to like see what works and what doesn't. I'm pretty sure you got this though. I've seen a lot of your animations before, and I actually dig them.
yeah, I've definitely improved a lot. I would say
we like to
that.
torment him with his first video.
God,
Dude, that's what you gotta do as a friend. You gotta torment your best buddy with like all his old stuff.
Exactly.
I never recommend anyone to see like my old content because I find it very cringe inducing.
I'm about to go search it up.
I mean, luckily for me, all my old stuff is gone. So like,
got taken down, bro.
it did.
I've only kept, I think, maybe some, but it's just to see like how far I've come from YouTube. Whether it's like a lot of, because when I first started off, I kind of wanted to do like very edgy style comedy, and I do with friends, but it's more like it has to make sense and it has to work. I come from like a Filthy Frank background, nothing terrible though, thankfully. I wanted to do some Marvel stuff with it, but it just didn't work out. And right now it's mainly just, well, what do I like? Video essays, I like covering films, and I wanted to push myself more because I was like, why don't I try to interview more people, especially in the fan film community? Because there's like something about the Spider-Man community, especially. I love like the camaraderie.
Certain select.
Has. Yeah.
Most of us.
No, yeah, most of us for sure.
I mean, I feel like keeping your old stuff up is honestly like something you should always do, just to see how far you've come and appreciate how much you've improved, and just to look back at what you used to do, and then compare that to what you do now.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to
feel
see how far
bad.
you've come from what you used to do.
I feel bad. I've deleted a lot of my old stuff because I think almost all of it because I wasn't an animation guy at the beginning. I did gaming videos. I had this one series. This was my first attempt into story making. I was a Sonic fan. Call me a furry if you want.
I'm
but
not calling you a furry,
don't
dog. I love
care.
Sonic.
Blazing Sonic 229,
Yeah.
boys.
Hold up.
Blazing Sonic was my YouTube username.
I have a bootleg
Cream.
necklace plushie from Mexico. I'm not gonna dog on you.
I have a Sonic thing holding up an on-air sign in my room. I'm not turning on my camera to see
All
it,
good.
but-
Don't worry. All good.
But I have like a whole collection of plushies that I don't want to throw away because it's probably like 150 worth. But I made this series called the Sonic Plush Adventures. There were 4 episodes. I originally
God.
planned for 6 seasons.
Hey, as
Don't
long
do
as
that.
long as this
Don't
isn't
do
like
that, my
Sonic
friend.
Chew, you should be fine. That's all I can tell you.
No. It was planned for like at first it was supposed to build up to this, but like Sonic would be fighting a actual character from the comics named Fleetaway Supersonic. That was my favorite thing about it. I had that idea for years, and then I dropped it because I wanted to work on the double dummies. And then I dropped the double dummies for a bit. I still want to make that pilot though. I still want to make the pilot for that series.
I'm excited. I'm hoping you go back into it, bro. Like I gotta see this. What are some things we can expect from this fan film that haven't been done or shown in any others? Give me both of your guys' input on this.
An actually good lizard story.
Oh shoot! Oh
Damn,
shoot!
you're going into the fire with that. Guns blazing.
Well,
I
I
love
mean,
that
that's just-
response.
That's just my opinion, really. Because I've looked over a bunch of other lizard stories, and I'm like,
Hey, valid, fair point though. I ain't gonna judge. I'm a guy that defends freaking Venom 2 because I love how goofy that movie is.
I need to watch the entire Venom franchise because, like, I watched Morbius and I hated it.
What the Morbin? It's a good movie. What do you Morbin mean, bro?
Morbin time.
It's
No,
Morbin time.
no, I'm not
It's
even
Morbin time.
memeing. It's really bad.
It's Morbin time.
What you can definitely expect. I've never really seen too many animated Spider-Man fan films. Like, I think there's only a few, select few, and I think there's only like there's not many you can work with, and so that opens like a huge gateway of like, oh, we can make the first like, I don't want to sound pretentious, but we can make one of the first. I don't want to say this, but good animated fan films. But I know there's a lot of good animated fan films out there that I haven't seen yet. I'll be looking to look for them. But the animated fan film scene is very limited. And so what we hope to do is not only one create a scene to where, oh, you can make an animated fan film. That's not you if you want to, that's great. And while also that doing our own style.
Would you guys ever be open to, like, let's say if Spider-Man Antidote is successful, would you guys ever be open to either doing more sequels or even more Spider-Man fan films together?
Oh, I
Sequels
feel like
to
if it
this
is successful, I feel like I would want to try.
The sequel would definitely be about Captain Stacy's death. That would be the main point. But
That's a
I
canon
don't
event that
ever
came
Let's
out.
just hope Antidote's successful then.
I don't ever expect to make a sequel for Antidote because I feel like once you make a sequel, it's just it can either be overshadowing the first first one you made, or just lacking the first one you made. So like I don't really want to push it into a sequel, partially because I don't even think we can make a sequel. Probably by the time we're done with Antidote, we've graduated, and so
We've graduated. Hold up.
do you not, dude? Probably by the time we're done, we'd be graduated at some point. So what we want to do is at least make something, and I don't expect this will probably be the one Spider-Man film I'm ever going to make in my life. If I were ever to make more, if Stoner came up to me and said, "Hey, can you make Spider-Man films? Any man, woman, whatever you want." I'd be like, "Okay, first, I've already made my Spider-Man film, so I'm not doing Peter Parker again. I feel like that story has been set. But I can make one about 2099. I can make one about Spider-Gwen. Those are the two I would want to make. 29.
As soon as I was about to buddy.
2099 would be a Miguel O'Hara origin story, and Spider-Gwen, I don't know what it would be, but I really like Spider-Gwen. I like that.
Hey, if you ever do that, if you ever do a 2099, you should get Grayson over here to be Peter Parker, and have someone just beat the absolute crap out of that Spider-Man. I want to see that happen.
Oh, yeesh.
Whoa!
What did I do?
We gotta have him duke it out, bro. You sound like a.
What did I do?
You sound like a goody two shoes Spider-Man. We gotta see Miguel O'Hara beat the crap out of a goody two shoes, bro. That's how I see it.
Oh,
I like
You're a
you though. I like you
mistake.
off the bat.
You're a
I mean-
mistake, body slams.
Bro, let's not act like Miles didn't take notes for Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
For that finisher and then the body slam, you're not slick.
When
he
did
knows what he's doing.
when did both of you guys get caught in like the web of Spider-Man? Like, when did you guys know that like, all right, I'm a fan of like this franchise and this character?
Ever since ever since I first found Spider-Man, I first watched the Spectacular Spider-Man, and then I watched TASM 1 when it first came out. I love TASM 1. It's one of my favorites. I'm sorry. It's one of my favorites.
Hey, don't be. I
But-
actually dig Tasm. I grew to love that movie thanks to a friend.
Yeah, Tasm's good.
TASM 2 is kind of a guilty pleasure, but like it's
I think the romance
semi-guilty
is the best
pleasure.
part.
It's a semi-guilty pleasure because I can still say, yeah, there's a lot of elements in that movie that are not good. But
I became a fan of Spider-Man, like I said a while ago, when I first saw him in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, and I'm like, you guys are both in high school. We're like, how old are you guys? I forgot to ask you guys this off the bat.
Oh, we're both 14.
Bro, the fact that you know Spider-Man, you're younger, because I know that most of the new generation doesn't know a lot about the Raimi films. It always like makes my heart like just skip a beat. I'm like, the new generation is still growing up with the classics, certified hood classic. There we go.
This is a certified hash brown moment.
I hate to say that I don't own any of the comics, but like I do know a lot of the comics. I have read Amazing Fantasy 15, and it's a really good comic. I have a comic book store near me. I need to go there, and I want to buy a bunch of Spider-Man books.
I already have like a huge collection right next to me of
Oh.
I'm
Spider-Man
thinking
comics.
about picking up. I'm thinking about picking up Life Story.
Give me a sec. Oh. I've got an entire shoebox here full of just Spider-Man comics, bros.
Yo.
And it makes me feel bad that I don't own Spider-Man comics. Like, I've never really owned them. Like, up until recently, like, I think, like, about a year ago or so, I'd never been interested in the comics. And then once I, like, got older and I started looking at stuff more, I was like, yeah, I love the comics now. I wanna get more deep into it. So I watched a bunch of Spider-Man lore stuff. I try to see if I can pick up Spider-Man comics. I would love to. So, I do know a lot of Spider-Man stuff. I'm not a guy who just goes, "Oh, I watched the 3 Raimi films, and I want Raimi to show up in the next movie. I want Andrew to show up in the next movie. I want Tom to show up in the next movie. That'd be so cool, because that's the only ones I've ever known. No, dude. I want Lego Spider-Man to show up. Dude,
Bro,
I'm
Lego
from-
Spider-Man is a different breed.
There's gotta be a reason why Miguel loves him. I feel like those two have like a bromance we do not know anything about. I want to see it happen.
Beyond the Spider-Verse, we get more info.
I swear, Miguel and Lego Spider-Man are probably gonna be lovers. That's all I can tell you right now.
Oh no.
Like, but ever since like I saw Spider-Man 3, as soon as that movie was done, set in stone, I'm a Spider-Man fan. And ever since then, I've been looking up more about the character. I've been going more in depth with suits. I've researched a bunch of other Spider heroes and all that I can find. It's Spider-Man 3 was the beginning, and right now it's still ongoing.
I want to see
And I don't think it's gonna
Webman
stop
in a
anytime
movie.
I've seen that action figure for Webman at GameStop. Oh my god.
Yo,
I wanna see
Webman!
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 The Spot is one of my all-time favorite Spider-Man villains before Spider-Verse came out, bro.
Dude, I don't know anyone that used to be a Spot fan back in the day. I know Spot was always treated as a joke, as he was, even in the original comic book runs.
No, I think in the first issue he was actually a threat, and then they just messed around
And
with
then he
him.
started to like
Like
make him
all Spider-Man, new Spider-Man comics do. They mess things up.
Yeah, I kind of blame the new modern day comic book runs. They're not my fave. I think
Ugh.
the
They did
current
one
one.
good thing, right?
Which one?
The newest one did one good thing, right? They
I
killed off Paul. Spider-Man killed him.
I've yet to keep up with some of the new ones. Like I think the current one that I'm reading right now is like the end of the Spider Verse from what I remember. And that one's got like I think like a C rating, so it's not terrible, but it's not the best. Because I know that what put me off in the comic book runs was I don't know if it's Nick Spencer or the writer Paul. I don't know which one's which, but it's the whole One More Day run where they got some good stuff in, like they got rid of like a specific arc that everyone knows of, like Gwen and Norman, but they're kind of
Oh
just
god.
yeah, they're kind of just treating Spider-Man and Peter Parker as like we want to see him suffer 24/7, and I understand it. Like I I don't mind having like an origin story where the character's broken, but it's like we get tired of seeing it 24/7. Like if we're gonna have a certain character lose someone close to them, whether it's like an Uncle Ben, Aunt May, or Captain Stacy, I feel like they don't need to get beaten up too much. I don't mind just having like a happy superhero every now and then, you know?
Like
I'm not a. I like I love that's what I wanted to do for the end of the film. The end of the film will, like, in the smallest way, like, yes, Peter is heartbroken at the end of the film. He is like lost something, like I'm not going to spoil it too much. But like
yeah, don't do that.
his stuff doesn't work out for Peter. But the smallest acts of kindness that people do to him, it makes a happy ending.
Like something I heard from another like a Spider-Man YouTuber, probably Spider-Man. He said in like he made a video about Peter B. Parker about why he's so good, and then he was talking about like Spider-Man is just basically now recently Spider-Man is just like a character that will always fall back down the stairs to where he used to be. We like he's broken at the beginning, and at the top of the stairs there's his like happiness. He will
Yeah.
with every time they switch to a new writer, Peter will immediately fall down those stairs. And we just want to see him get to the top. We're tired of seeing him fall back down those stairs every single time.
Yeah.
We just want to see him be happy, be joyful, have just a little bit of joy in his life. Or if it was just for like one issue, I would be satisfied just to see Peter happy.
I know that's what everyone wants. It's like I just want to see him happy. Like I want to at least see him like because I know that there are even old comic book runs where we see Spider-Man and Peter Parker just happy, like he has a family and everything's actually fine. And then I know that with most of the current films, like I think Spider-Verse is actually handling the characters almost a lot better than the comics, and that's the sad part when your animated films are just kicking the crap out of your comic books every now and then.
Colin, I mean, like, the Spider-Verse people not only listen to fans, but they also make fun of fans sometimes. It's funny because they I think the whole Miles, you're not supposed to be Spider-Man stuff. It was just a big nitpick. I think it was confirmed. It's a big nitpick towards the people who don't think Miles Morales is Spider-Man, and I
Yeah.
hate that take. I hate it so much. Everyone's Spider-Man.
As Miles says, anyone can wear the mask.
Yeah, because like when I was researching more about it, like when you mentioned it, also like the writers tend to like poke at the fans every now and then, and I kind of like that they're doing it because it's more of like it's more relevant and it makes sense. Because I know when the MCU did it with I think She-Hulk, it didn't really work as much, and it just pissed off like 90% of the fan base. But with Spider-Verse, it's like, how about we take the actual issues and instead of just making it like a joke throughout, we make it relevant. Because I know that with Miguel, he's like the most serious Spider-Man out of everyone in there, and there's like a certain reason as to like why they wanted him to be the focal point as to why he thinks Spider-Man or Miles Morales shouldn't be Spider-Man. That he's basically like what's the term? Like not the right one, or just like
An outlier.
yeah. And because I know that every Spider-Man fan's gonna have their opinion, because that's how we are. We're gonna have subjective. We're either gonna be right or wrong in some of these, but to anyone that like always says that Peter Parker is the only Spider-Man out there, I think that there's gonna be multiple Spider-Men and women, and they're gonna be written different, but they're all gonna have like a place in everyone's heart. Like anyone can be Spider-Man, like you guys were saying. Like anyone can be under that mask, and I love that. I love that they chose Miguel to be like this anti-hero, but kind of like that little scapegoat for everyone that doesn't like Miles, but now they have to see it through the film's eyes and be like, wow, we are like pretty messed up and like wrong for saying all this crap, you know?
Wow, we were racist.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, I think mainly Spider-Man Twitter.
It's a
Me
joke.
and
It's a
Grayson
joke.
love. It's a joke. Please do not come after me. I will be.
Don't
do not
find his
come at
house
my
and start an
door.
electrical fire, please.
Do not come at my door, cause I will not be answering it. I what is the thing? Because me and Grayson actually love a lot of Spider-Man media. We love a lot of stuff about Spider-Man. We love Spider-Man 3. We have a guilty pleasure of Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We're not people who only like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Man 2, but that's not the only good movie.
No, there's multiple good movies
In
out
my
there.
opinion, in my opinion, Across the Spider-Verse is the new best Spider-Man movie.
No, and that's valid. That's valid.
Mhm.
How do you guys rank all the live action Spider-Man in your eyes?
Let me get a ranker real quick.
So ranking as like, what are we ranking here? Like the actors in the movie.
The actors in the movie series yourselves. You can do either the actors first and then the films right after. Like, who is the definitive Spider-Man for your eyes, and which film do you think is like the holy grail?
Are we
Mm,
talking about live action actors?
Live action.
yeah.
If you guys want to
For
toss in
me,
some animated in there, I don't mind.
Oh,
okay.
well,
Oh, you can go first, Cam.
Josh Keaton will always be Spider-Man to me. Josh Keaton
Exactly.
is Spider-Man. But if I would have to pick a live action version, Andrew Garfield is my live action Spider-Man. I can't agree that sometimes his films can lack The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I like the movie. Okay, it's just I know there's a lot of bad parts about it.
Hey, I still
But I
enjoy
love
that
7
movie
1.
more than
I
Far
don't
From
care.
Home, though. That's all I can tell you.
From Home was fine. Far From Home was fine. I don't hate it as much as other people do.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. But
No, you're fine.
Andrew Garfield is Spider-Man. The live action. What about you?
Mm. So for me, obviously, like number one, again, like he said, Josh Keaton.
Yeah.
Number two for me, it would be Toby. Toby was the one. It was basically the only one I knew until I watched Chasm. He was the only one I knew. He was the only one I liked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so number one is Josh Keaton for animated. Number one for live action is like Toby. And for the movies, the holy grail of the movie. For me, I feel like, again, coming back to Toby, it's Spider-Man 1 to me. Like I grew up with Spider-Man 3, but as for rewatching Spider-Man 1, that's one of the best movies for me.
I think that's like a
Just
really like bold choice also, because I know that when it comes to like the Raimi films, the third one is usually the one that gets the most crapped on, but the first one gets kind of glossed over every now and then. It's always just
Yeah.
two.
The first one is is almost a masterpiece. Like I would even call it a masterpiece. It's Spider-Man 2 just builds upon that masterpiece
Yeah.
and just makes it perfect. But Spider-Verse is better.
No, again,
I like-
valid. I love everything about that film. I think the funny part, like I said earlier, is like the Spider-Verse movies are handling the characters a lot better than some others, and I know that Michael Brian Bendis tends to get a lot of hate, but I like that he at least tried with Miles. But I love that Across the Spider-Verse and even just the first Spider-Verse movie, Miles actually was like written really good, and he had a standout like introduction to the films.
I don't hate Michael Bryan at all. I don't like Zeb Wells. I don't like Zeb Wells whatsoever.
Yeah,
He's
no.
the guy in charge of the new run.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I've heard like the Insomniac Spider-Man is supposed to be getting like a crossover comic with 616. Can't wait for PS4 Peter to ask 616 Peter who Paul is.
I'm just hoping they do something good, man, because the 616 right now is so 60
Oof.
40, man.
616 is about to get beat up so hard because of PS4 Spider-Man. It's just another reason to beat him up.
Is there an official runtime for this movie?
No, not yet. I
we
mean, like
haven't
right now
really-
we're sitting at like with all the stuff not edited or anything, like because as Kane said, we're probably gonna like revise some stuff and all that, change things, cut things. Didn't you say at like the beginning, Kane? It was like around an hour 58
Maybe like
without editing and stuff.
maybe it just kind of depends because like there's a lot of things we got to go over. We haven't really had our first session yet for voice acting because we just finished wrapping up the script. This is like a slow process we're taking. The script started in mid-July. That's when we first came up with the concept.
We're trying to like take our time with this and make sure it's like an actual like satisfactory thing.
No, I understand it. Yeah. Do you guys know when you guys are gonna drop like another like teaser announcement?
Probably not for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people would want it, but like, we don't have enough. We don't have footage to give people. We have to finish some footage. We have to.
Yeah, and we
actually
also need to like
done.
for if we were gonna do another teaser, obviously we might for a teaser we might need voice lines, and we, as Kane said, we haven't had a session to where we can get the voice lines. So
those things I've made. That's not official footage. That's just an announcement video, and then the cast. Like that's
Yeah.
not footage.
Okay, yeah. Do you guys think you guys are gonna record some of your sessions and probably post like what's it called? Do you guys know like how there's usually like B-roll and it's like the actors and actresses like reading their lines? Are you guys open to doing that or just keeping it like hush hush and then just dropping everything once more edits come out?
We might drop a bloopers reel.
yeah,
I want to see that.
yeah. It's knowing me, like I can't keep like a train of thought, and I can't read good. I'll read the same line over and over, and I have to like stop and pause. So the bloopers will be filled with me pausing.
I mean, it gets funny in the booth. Like, we can either get really on point or then go crazy for 30 minutes, and then we get right back into it. So, it's all just part of a fun process. We don't.
Is there anything you want to tell any of the Spider-Man community watching this that they should know about the film?
We really like Spider-Man. We really like Spider-Man, and that should be your confidence. We really like Spider-Man.
I mean, like, if you like the Lizard, you'll like this.
I mean, please do not just go, oh, fan films are cringe. Please stop sending stuff like that.
Yeah,
Lotus
has like lowered the bar for fan films. Like people, if any of these like new fan films are coming out, some people will be like, oh, because of Lotus, people will be like, oh, it's probably gonna be another Lotus, and that's just not a good like assumption to have to people that are actually passionate about this, trying to do their thing.
I hope that never scares people.
I'm hoping that it dies out soon. Like, one of the things that I'm trying to do, at least with this community, is I'm trying to like do more stuff like this, like as I'm doing with you guys, like interviews, and I'm hoping that there's at least like a light at this end of the tunnel for fan films and series out there, because I know that with Lotus, like everyone's talking about it. Also, like it has tainted the fan film genre, and it's just like painted like a portrait for everyone, and it's like, oh, is this gonna have issues? Do we have to worry about X, Y, and Z? You know, and I'm hoping that the whole question, or I'm hoping the whole saying of like fan films are cringe just dies out, because there's a lot of love and passion behind fan films, and some of them might not be the best. And I've even mentioned this to I've talked about this with Brandon also, is that the whole point of a fan film is to be a passion project. You're not meant to like do anything out of spite. You know, it's just you having fun, even if it's not the best. But to you, it's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
That should always be a thing. Like, you should have the mindset of, oh, this should be really good. Because if you don't have that mindset, it's not gonna be good.
Like with fan films, like after I watched Lotus, I was like, I had a pretty positive like review of Lotus when I first watched it. So afterwards, I was like, hey, how about I go look at some more fan films? And when I looked up more fan films, the first thing I said in my head was, I know this isn't Lotus. I'm not going to act like this is Lotus.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my mind clear and keep my mind open to new takes.
Are there any other projects you guys are working on that like we should know about, so we should like follow and like stay tuned for?
Just Antidote. I mean, like, I do want to make a bunch of side project animations for the future. The Double Dummies is one I want to make, the pilot for that one. And then there's another one I want to make with friends called Mr. Duck's Mafia. The reason why Antidote exists is because that pilot wasn't working out.
Now, for me, like obviously I'm working on Antidote, but I'm not only just like a Spider-Man fan. I'm also like Kane gets annoyed at me for this, but I'm also like a massive Ben 10 fan.
Dude,
Hey,
who
bump
doesn't
my
love
head.
Ben? Who doesn't love Ben 10 though? Ben 10 is the gold standard also for a lot of cartoons.
Yeah, especially like the original show. So for me, I'm trying to get like a good computer and like an actual good drawing tablet to start animating my own series. It's basically like if I was set in the Ben 10 world and all that. So it's called Gray 10, or I might change up the thing. But that's just one of the things I'm trying to work on.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm excited because I may not be like a big Ben 10 fan as I was back in the day, but Ben 10 holds like a place in my heart because I'm a Cartoon Network kid at the end of the day, and I love a lot of the classics from back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with you on that one. I'm a regular show fan, like Die Hard.
What?
I love it.
What?
Yeah, but thanks for having us.
No problem.
Yeah, it's been
Are there any
been a
socials
blast.
that you want us to follow you guys on? I know that I think Kane, you only have YouTube, and then is it Threads also, or is it something else?
I do not have Threads.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Merch
I-
store is
It's
Threadless.
just YouTube. It's just YouTube.
Just YouTube?
I don't wanna.
Yeah, for me, same, just YouTube. I mean,
okay.
yeah.
I'm not getting Twitter. Just
Do not make
Nope.
a Twitter,
No.
guys. I'm telling you right now. I have it, and it's an abomination to mankind. That's all I can tell you.
we're not making it.
If I go on Twitter, I've hit a new low.
Hey, I've hit so many lows. Twitter's one of them.
I need to stop making Spider-Man Twitter fan jokes. Like, I'm gonna get.
Someone's gonna find your IP address, man.
No, I do not come to my door because I will not be answering it. It is locked.
Dude, they'll just start an electrical fire. They don't need to come inside your house.
Oh no.
The surprising thing is
Well-
that Spider-Man fan Twitter is toxic, but Reddit seems to be the only place where everyone unites, and it's not even that bad.
I'm not even on Reddit. I've never been on Reddit in my life. Like I never cared to go on Reddit.
No, well,
I'm not a Redditor.
thanks again for letting me do this interview with you guys. If you guys are
Yeah.
down for a future interview again, I'd be down. If you guys are able to get more of your cast members on here, let's do a group interview and just do some random stuff together.
Yeah, It's been a blast. Thanks for having us.
No problem, and thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Sorry if again I was a little what's the term not as organized. I'm still working on like trying to keep myself too standard with a lot of these interviews, but it's always a blast. Everyone,
Bro, you're
watch it.
fine.
Make
My
sure to
entire
watch it.
brain is disorganized. I've got experience.
To anyone watching this, make sure to stay tuned and follow Cain on Cainimates. Is that right? Cainimates. I'll link it down in the.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
All right. Follow Cainimates and I'll be linking down the YouTube channel as well. Stay tuned for more Spider-Man Antidote content. It's been your boy, that guy Frankie, yours truly, signing off.
I don't have an outro. Bye bye.
Goodbye, good dog.
What?